It's September 2024, and who will be today's fresh custody at Maitland Local Court? Just before the lunch break, the magistrate calls for the defendant to be brought in. Entering via a side door, flanked by correctional officers, he is led into the dock. He is young, probably 20s, he's cuffed, and looks at everyone in the gallery before he disappears from view into the dock. The defendant is applying for bail. Of course, he is here because police have refused bail, and the police prosecutor today is opposing the granting of bail. The prosecutor argues that there is an unacceptable risk to the community. But what did he allegedly do? Property offences. The charge or charges weren't said out loud, but it's likely he was stealing from people. He is currently on an intensive correctional order for similar offences. Plus, he has a current case before the court also for property offences. And the current case saw him become a fresh custody in July 2024. Yes, he's been in this same situation only 3 months ago. In July, he asked for bail, which the court granted. In September, he's asking again, and the court grants bail again. Wait for it. Like most cases in the New South Wales Local Court, it's just not that simple. I wasn't surprised the court granted bail. Why? Because the court accepted that the defendant has an intellectual disability, mental health issues, and a severe language disorder. The court also hears he is in a supported living situation where the offending occurred. The court considers the defendant a vulnerable person and voices concerns if he was to stay in custody. The magistrate then creates detailed and specific bail conditions to mitigate the risk to the community. The defendant must have a level of care, move to a new supported living location outside Maitland, and be supervised. I understand he is essentially under house arrest, but also must be provided with a level of care. By the way, I'm not going to go into the details because I think going into his medical situation further would breach his privacy. I still want to talk about this case because it's a reminder that there are vulnerable people being dealt with by the New South Wales local courts. And it's not so simple as taking the approach that just send them off to jail will resolve this legal problem. I think it's so easy to judge the magistrate for their decision in cases like this. But on the day, I thought the magistrate went through an extensive consideration process, which is what our law requires the magistrate to do when considering granting bail to people who have a mental health issue or an intellectual disability.